So, welcome to today's video. We are taking a look at the Kusakabe Harmonia granulating watercolors. The Harmonia line started with this set of 12 colors. You can buy them open stock or as a set. I will leave you a link in the description box to the set and the open stock colors on AliExpress, where I also got mine from. And nowadays there is also the Harmonia Plus set with another set of 12 colors, which I also have a video, and I will upload it, I think, next week. So yeah, now those are the colors which were released a few years prior. So that was the first set of super granulating watercolors from Kusakabe. Depending on where you live, it is not so easy to get. In Germany, you normally don't get Kusakabe watercolors at all, so the only chance I get is to get them from AliExpress. So depending on where you live, it is easier or harder to get to those colors. So the first color here is called Purple Spinel. It is a PB16 Manganese Violet, a PB15 Column 3 Phthalo Blue Green shade mix. And the color I'm swatching now is called Starry Winter, which is a PB29 Ultramarine Blue and a PY 119 mix. All the pigments used in this set of colors are considered very good or good in light fastness, so they are safe to use except for 3 colors. I will mention it when we come to the colors, so if I don't say anything, you can consider the color as good or very good, excellent in light fastness. So just that you know. Yeah, some pigments I wasn't so sure with the light fastness, like the PY 119 here, so I had to look it up on some databases, and this pigment here is excellent in light fastness. So yeah, like I said, if I don't say anything about that the color is not safe or so, then you can consider them light fast. The next color is called Dusk Sky. It is a mix of PB29 Ultramarine Blue, PG18, which is a genuine Viridian, and PO73. And this is the first of the 3 color which is not light fast because of the PO73. This is a pigment which is not light fast in watercolor. It will fade massively over time, and it is this color, the Dusk Sky is a copy of the Shadow Violet from Daniel Smith, which has the same light fast problem. It will definitely fade strongly over time. So yeah, I'm always sad in those kind of mixtures when they use colors where you say you have another pigment with a very similar color. So sorry for the doorbell. Yeah, you could use pigments which are good in or very good in light fastness instead of those not so light fast pigments easily in mixtures like that. I think in most cases probably the problem why this isn't the case is that those pigments are rated as very light fast from the organization who makes the light fastness rating for pigments normally, and in most cases they are rated. The pigments are rated in oil colors, so we have a non-transparent medium which will not be diluted in usage, and that is of course a very big difference between colors like that and watercolors, and that's the reason why we sometimes have pigments which are very good or good in light fastness in oil colors but not in watercolors. And I think often that is the case why brands do use pigments like that and mixtures like that and rate it as very good in light fastness, the whole mixture. Okay, so now we have Witch Bordeaux, and that is definitely a color which is very different to all the color shades I've ever seen in colors in such super granulating colors, because we have a super dark red color here, a Bordeaux color, and yeah, very, very different. It is a PB29 ultramarine blue and PR 179, which should be Paraline maroon. So definitely something very different and unique in comparison to other brands. So the next two colors are colors I personally like a lot, but for me personally, they are not something special anymore, because first of all, nearly every brand offers, even in their regular ranges, colors like that. And yeah, I mixed them since so many years by myself. So yeah, for me personally, I love the color mixtures, those two, but I don't consider them anything special. So the first one is Sunrise Blossom, which is a PB19 quinacridone rose and a PB29 ultramarine blue mix. You know this, for example, also as the Rose of Ultramarine from Daniel Smith. So, like I said, definitely not something special. Same goes for the next color here, Blue Hole, PB29 and PG7. That is definitely a mix I know, for example, from the White Nights super granulating watercolors, which I think they also have this mixture, which is PB29 and PG7, which is a phthalo green. And that is also a mixture you get as a phthalo turquoise from so many brands. Sometimes you have phthalo turquoise as a PB16, which is the single pigment phthalo turquoise, but some brands offer also phthalo turquoises as a mixture of either phthalo green with phthalo blue or phthalo green with ultramarine blue, like we have it here. Sometimes they also call them ultramarine turquoise instead of phthalo. So yeah, like I said, that is definitely a mixture we have seen in so many brands, in regular ranges as well as in super granulating ranges, and it doesn't change the fact that those two mixtures are absolutely beautiful and I love them, but yeah, they don't feel new or special anymore. So yeah, there's that. So the next color is Mint Beryl, and we have here PB28, which is cobalt blue. So we do have some more expensive pigments. We had the genuine variant, we have the cobalt blue. We also get some other cobalt pigments in some of the coming colors. And we have a PY 138. That was also a pigment I wasn't sure about the light fastness, but it has a very good to good, so definitely safe to use. And the color is really beautiful. I like it a lot. The next color is called Olive Safari, and it is a PG7, so phthalo green, PBR7, which is the natural version of the brown iron oxide, and a PY83 mix. And the PY83 is here the problem with the light fastness. So the Olive Safari is the second of the three colors which are not light fast. Which also is, it's more on a warmer kind of yellow, but it is definitely a color where I say you could have used another yellow pigment which looks similar instead. So yeah, a little bit sad that they've used here non-light fast pigment. The color itself is a nice olive green color where you can see a little bit of granulation. I think the PBR7 version they have is probably not granulating very strongly. And of course we have a lot of other pigments mixed in it, so at least here on my swatch it isn't granulating super strongly. So the next color is called Castle Green, and it is a mixture of PB15 column 3, which is phthalo blue green shade, and a PBR7 again, so our natural brown iron oxide. So we have a color which is like a cooler version of the Olive Safari, because it's missing the yellow, and therefore, because it is missing the yellow, we have a light fast color here. So the next two colors, I had a little bit of a problem with the tube. When I opened it, like the first layer was very dried up, and I just couldn't press any of the color out. So I switched to the last color and had to pause my recording to go into the colors with pottery needle, which is a very long metal needle, which I can very highly recommend if you are using watercolor tubes. Because I did go in with this tool and mix the color a little bit, which I also do when you have color separation, not color separation, pigment separation from the binder, binder separation, I mean. So instead of pressing out tons of binder, you can then go in with the needle, mix it thoroughly, and then use it safely again. And the reason why I recommend the pottery needle instead for a toothpick, for example, is that on wood, first, the needles are not long enough for the big tubes. And the second is on wood, you have a lot of more pigment on the toothpick afterwards, which you cannot use as good as when it is on metal, because there you can really with a brush get off all the pigment and use it while painting, for example. And it is easier to clean, and yeah, you don't have any waste. So definitely, in my opinion, a better choice. Like I said, with a toothpick you don't come to the bottom. If you have a binder separation problem with a 15 milliliter tube, then it's just not long enough. So this color here was the third color, which is not safe with the light fastness. It is called Darkness Sand. It's a PO16. That's the main problem. It's rated with light fastness in the letter system with a 4. So 1 is the best, 5 is the worst, so 4 is really, really bad. So I guess that will probably fade completely over time. And a PBK11, which is, of course, our black iron oxide. So I guess if you have an orange which is in shade close to the PO16, you could definitely mix a light fast version here. It doesn't have a lot of orangey feeling, because if you are mixing oranges with black and you have a high enough amount of black, you will get some brownish colors. But definitely a nice color on its own, So it is definitely a set that it is not light fast. So you see here a little bit of the pottery needle where I put on the color from the needle directly. So that is Arctic Ocean. It is a mixture of PB29, which is ultramarine blue, PG19, which is one of the cobalt green greens. I say one of the cobalt greens because we have, I think, 3 different pigments, if I'm correct in my mind, which make greens, which belong to the cobalt family, and a PBK7, which is a carbon black. And we have the exactly the same pigment combination here in the fog ash, but with a higher amount of the PBK7 because it is a more tends more towards the black. So of course, when I have swatched this color, then we will take a look at the dried color swatches and also do a close-up of all the colors, so you can see the granulation and color separation effects a little bit better than here on the full screen. So now then, let's take a look at the dried swatches. So the first color is the purple spinel, and the second is the starry winter, which are both purple colors. Then we have the shadow violet copy called Dusk Sky, and the very beautiful, interesting looking Witch Bordeaux. Then the basic color mixes of Sunrise Blossom and Blue Hole. You can see in the top often that the color gets a lot darker, and I have swatched them a little bit more diluted in the bigger part of the bottles. The Mint Barrel, Olive Safari and Castle Green. Then Arctic Ocean and Fog Ash. And the last color, Darkness Sand. So the quality of the paints is really good. As far as I know, Kusakabe is considered artist grade. I don't have any negative points towards the quality. The paints are very easy to work with, reactivate very good, and yeah, so can't say anything really bad about the quality. The only main problem I do have are the 3 colors, Dusk Sky, Olive Safari and Darkness Sand, using non-light fast pigments. That is the biggest negative point I have towards the colors. There are, I would say, a 50-50 mix of colors I consider very beautiful and interesting, and colors I are personally just not my cup of tea in the department of the color shade, or are just at the point like the Sunrise Blossom and the Blue Hole, which are color mixtures I absolutely love, but they are just, yeah, we have them from nearly every brand in some kind of version, so they're just nothing special anymore. And if a brand things. Now I start with super granulating colors. Then those are often colors which are included, but always colors I think, oh, not again. do something different. Yeah, so my personal favorites are the purple spinel, the mint beryl, the maybe also the starry winter, the witch bordeaux, and I also do like a lot the Arctic Ocean and the fog ash, because they have some really nice color and separation, which are more on the unique side, because we don't have those mixtures a lot from other brands, and the colors themselves are, in my personal opinion, beautiful. So that is of course always a case of personal preference. Yeah, so I would absolutely love to hear your opinion about the colors. Are there colors you consider very special and beautiful, which you say, oh, I would buy this one, or I want to buy this? Or if you say you don't buy mixed colors like that, are there mixtures which you would say, yes, I do like the color, so I will try to mix it myself, or include it in my repertoire of mixed granulating colors. And or if you maybe already have the set or some of the colors, then I would love to hear your experience with the colors themselves. So thank you so much for watching the video. As always, thumbs up or a follow is very highly appreciated, because it helps me and the channel so much. So thank you so much for everyone leaving a follow or a thumbs up. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope it was interesting and helpful, and you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. Bye bye, and take good care of yourself.